Hello everybody, my name is Farmer Phil, and in today's video we're going to see how we're going to run out of fodder, and we're going to just go through a couple of updates on the farm, how things are getting on, and just a couple of different things there. We have 8 calves out there off milk. They are winter born calves, autumn born calves that we've rearing for the farm shop for 2 years time. Just about how a grass there, they're outside all the time now. It's lovely. It may be cold weather, but it's nice and dry, so while it stays dry we'll keep them out there. We actually have to move them across their side of the lawn just because there's more grass over their side avenue. But we'll go into the yard, we'll have a look at our current fodder situation and how the cattle are getting on, and we'll show you the next load of bulls going to the factory and a few other bits and bobs in today's video. We're in the meal shed now, and as you can see, our rolled barley, we're getting near the back, but we still have lots of rolled barley in the shed on an out farm. It is lasting good and well. We have lots. We're not going to run out of barley. We'll hopefully have some over the hand oats that we can stretch our calf feed out when it comes to the summertime, just to cheapen it, because buying meal is awful expensive. We still have some of our alkaline treated rolled oats and beans going into the bulls. Smell off that is horrendous because of the alkaline, makes it smell very ammonia-y. But when it comes to our meal situation, we have lots. It just has to get rolled and brought down, but we kind of knew that we were going to have lots, as we always tend to have surplus grain the last 2 or 3 years, so we are grand on that front. Our beet though is running out, and it's not keeping very well, but that could be more down to the mild weather we had not long after pulling it. You can see where the tops have started to grow a bit. It's chopping and feeding fine, but you can see it's going that blue moldy kind of a colour. Yeah, it's not going to keep much longer. If we had 5 acres of beet and we had twice that amount of beet in the pit, the last couple of ton would definitely would have rotted on it. That should be all right. There's another tight enough 2 weeks. We're feeding it very strong at the minute, so we have cattle going all the time, so as more cattle go we slow back. So I reckon about a week, 10 days, 2 weeks, something around that, and then we'll be out of fodder beet. But it seems to be doing a serious job on the cattle, and our daily weight gains have actually gone up since we started using it, so it's working well, but it is running out. And as you can see then as well, first maize pit is gone, and it's been gone basically since we pulled the fodder beet. Our second maize pit, so this is our uncovered maize, feeding very well, has kept very well. It's lovely on top, and we did put down our silo stop oxygen barrier and then put plastic and tires on top of it, no sandbags, and it's done a savage job. So definitely going to be using that on all the pits next year. But we are on the last bay, so you can kind of tell pillar, bay, and so forth. How long the maize is going to last, it's hard to know, because there's 3 diet feeders going in, so that's 6 grabs of maize, so near enough taking the full face, about 3 inches more. You'll be taking about 6 inches or to a foot off that every day going that way. But as the next load of cattle goes, well then it's going to be 2.5 diet feeders, or it's going to be 2 today, 3 tomorrow. That's going to slow down, so it's hard to gauge how long that's going to last. Is it going to finish all the cattle? Probably not. We always have a couple of stragglers that take a bit longer. It's lasting not too bad. It's just one of them things. It's hard to know, because you can see by the wall, we started at that pillar, and then as the pit got higher, so while it's taken us maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks to get that far, it's from there on it's a much higher height, so it's not going to go back as quick. So if it was 2 to 3 weeks to get there, there's more behind that, so that might actually last 6 weeks ish, 4 to 6 weeks, which wouldn't be too bad. That'll see most of the cattle gone actually, so it's actually better than I thought it was going to be. And now for the big one, our silage situation, which was the biggest thing that we were facing. And it really, well, Father Phil wasn't too worried about it, but I was quite concerned, as we didn't put enough in to our silage pit. But we are okay. we still have maybe 20-25 bales of red clover there. We still have whole crop, and we still have silage. Now we are eating into the back of the pit. The next stripping of dare is down off the bank. There's a bit more this side before the plastic comes down off the bank. Our whole crop, it's one of these things. It's and hand. The silage, we were going very hard at silage, but we got our heifers out at the beginning of February, and when we got them out, that was a ton of silage gone. And then we really slowed down on the silage end of it as we were feeding our bales. We were feeding that, we were feeding the top silage as we kind of, at the same time we started, we cut back in the amount of silage going into the finishing ration, put in more maize, more whole crop, and then met up with beet. So we started using above that for silage, whereas that was going for the finishing diet before. So we really slowed back on that end of it, but our whole crop is sped up then. So we should have enough whole crop, I reckon, to go another 2 months, which will finish most of the cattle in the yard. The silage, as it stands, the cattle, the weanlings have about, we'll go up and we'll look at how much forage rape is left. We might actually leave it. We still have a good bit up there. It's the 1st of March, 2nd of March actually now. Cattle, we've lots of grass outside. The cattle can go out to grass, and normally by this time of the year we'd have basically all the weanlings will be out in their batches grazing away. We tend to start putting them out the first weeks of February, but we didn't this year, to graze off all of our forage rape. And my intention is to keep some of them inside to empty out the back of that silage pit, because it hasn't been emptied in 4 years, and we want to use up the bales because they were spiked and they're not going to last if we don't use them. So we might get a bale and just give it into the cattle there while the grab is on. But we are okay for silage. We are okay. Straw, I have a straw on the blower there to go into the bulls there now. And on straw, we have probably a bit tight enough. If we only had the straw that's in the yard at the minute, we could be a bit tight on straw, but we have 100 square bales on out from where the grain is, and then there's maybe 20 or 30 round bales there too. So we've lots of straw. The problem is getting it back. The bales of red clover in. Looking really good. So now that I know I have a good bit of red clover over, we're going to be giving red clover to our calves just to see how it goes. We gave it to the ones that's reared on off milk. They ate it and seemed to get on to find it. And the reason I'm giving them red clover is because the red clover is higher protein, silage, roughage. So if the calves eat some of that, it just means they're getting that little bit more out of it than they would if they're eating straw or hay. And hopefully it didn't do anything it didn't cause any problems with our winter calves. I'm hoping there's no problems feeding silage this year's calves, but if we get a bit more protein in them, get a bit more growth on them, that's the goal. For anyone who's wondering how the bulls are doing and how they're going, our next load of bulls is coming out of this pen. See them there. I think most of them are in that corner there. There's one in the back there, so just after bedding them too. But yeah, next load of bulls is coming from there. Weights ranging from 630 down to 540. I actually think that bull there is the bull that's 630 kilos. That guy there. So nice weights. How are they grading? Probably not as well as other years. We're half P's, half O minuses, few O equals. Right, the biggest disappointment is none of our speckled packs have managed to get an R, which I'm quite disappointed with that. But we are well underway. You can see one pen on the slats is gone. There's not too many cattle there side the wall. When we get the load out here, there's very few cattle left in that pen. I think there's 11 left there, so we're well underway with that. But that's where the next load of boys is coming from. And fat scores are 2 minuses to 3 minuses. That's what we're getting on the loads. So where it needs to be. But that is the boys, and that's the weights and the grades and how they're getting on anyways on our fully self-sufficient ration. All grown on the farm. Alright boys. And now we are up with our forage rape, our gorilla rape, and you can see where the fence is down the middle there. We're about halfway through it, so there's about 2 to 3 weeks more feeding here, and we don't really want going on any longer than that because it will start to be in danger of going to flower. Goes to flower, it's poisonous, awful. But the reason you don't see any cattle there is because we have had a lot of trouble trying to keep them on it, as you can see. After the last escapade, we just kept them shut in, so I'm up here to fix a few fences and then get them back out. But only for this, we'd have been out of silage probably by the first week of January. Only for we put in, I don't know what it is, there's 12, 6, 4, 20-ish acres of it. We'd have been in trouble. Based on what Gold Crop are telling us, we were feeding about 20% forage rape, 80% silage. We increased that bit just to heat it up a bit quick sooner. But honest to God, only for it. This would probably been a different video. But we're grand now, and actually our weanlands have never looked as well. They've never looked as big. I'm saying here it's getting a bit windy. They've never looked as big. Honest to God, there has to be some of them touching 300 kilos. Very happy with how they've done on this. And this is a high protein, and it's just all about getting protein into them. More protein. It's like bodybuilding. More protein, bigger muscles, bigger cattle. So the forage rape was our saving grace this year for our fodder situation, and now we're in a lovely position. Lots of silage there. We'll start batching cattle and letting them out probably in the next week or so. Slurry's just starting to ease off now. We've a job to do today, our own to do tomorrow. There's 2 other jobs on the books to be done, and then 1 job for the end of April. There's some more work we know will come in after that, but it's easing off now. So we're going to get the plough on, we're going to get tilling, we're going to get cattle sorted out, we're going to leave in cattle just while get as much of that silage used up as we have big plans. It's confirmed we're doing 3 cuts of silage this year. We're going to be going high quality, low quantity, high quality silage this year, which I'm very excited for. Father Phil has finally agreed to it, so we're going to push hard to try and get all that done. Also, now that we've seen how we've got on with our beans and that, we didn't grow enough beans, we have to grow more beans for next year. So we're in that point now where we're trying to lay out how many acres of different crops has to go in so we can have enough feed to feed our cattle. So we didn't have enough beans, we didn't have enough beet. This field here that we're on now, well, just this area here that's under the forage rape, about 6 acres, it's going into beet. So we'll have more than twice the amount of beet than we had last year, so that should hopefully be enough. We're going with more beans because we need more protein going into the cattle to get daily weight gains up. Now our daily weight gains have improved since we started feeding beet, so that could have been part of the missing link. And then for our whole crop, we're going in with spring wheat because we didn't get any winter wheat in because the weather just went wrong on us at the wrong time. So we're going with spring wheat, so we're aiming up all our different acres for all them different things. and that's what we're doing. And when on the forage rip, we're talking about at the minute, we have had quite a bit of trouble trying to keep the calves on it. They either break wires or break fences. They're just, it hasn't been, you get a couple of days and then they break out and then you put them back. It's been a bit messy that way, but they seem to have done exceptionally well between this and the red clover. So when we weigh them, if we see there's a significant increase in their weight going out to grass compared to last year, and we will have to take into consideration they're probably 2 to 3 weeks later going out than they were last year, then we're going to grow forage rape again. But we won't be growing it where we grow it this year, because you can't really grow brassicas 2 years in a row, because you could get in trouble with uproot. So we're going to grow forage rape on other fields outside of the farm, and then we're talking about maybe zero grazing that back into the cattle, mixing it and feeding it to them. Because if they've done that, if they've done as well as we think they've done, then getting that extra protein into them by doing that, we think could be a winner. So we have to wait and see on that. But that's where we are with our fodder. We're comfortable. It could have been different, but this stuff here saved our skins for this year. So that's really, I don't think there is anything else. If you have any comments or questions, leave them in the comments down below. Don't forget to leave your sows in the comments. There was one comment there from the last video. I just have my phone on me, I'll see, can I bring it up? It was from Barry, wasn't it? Yes, Barry Buckley. Hats off to you, sir. That's a heck of a lot of sows in a comment. So you leave your sow comments down below. But that's how things are looking for us. That's how things are shaping up. And that's kind of where we're at the minute, is just trying to plan the acres going in of our different crops to make sure we have enough to feed next year's cattle. And then also figuring out how many batches and how many numbers of bulls to the batches we're putting out then. And that's where we're at the minute. Getting ready for spring has finally sprung, kind of a thing. But yeah, we're going to leave it at that. As always, please like and subscribe to the channel. Videos every Tuesday, Thursday and Sunday. That is it from me. Good luck.